ahead.
All right, this is Tom's peer review for Artifact 3, and I'm going to start with 3A. All right, so as always, I enjoy reading your narratives because I know exactly what you have accomplished and learned in leadership. And also, I'm certain that you need to review the descriptors a little bit more closely. The stuff that is in the synthesis and the course readings was represented in your artifact. The rubric requirements, I didn't see anything that you missed. You hit all those highlights. The quality, I think it could use a lot more detail, especially in regards to the final descriptors, to make sure that you show those things. All the mechanics and grammar, I didn't find any errors on that. The organization, the contrast between the headings and the narrative could be just a little bit, the font size were kind of off, and make the breaks more obvious. So maybe bold the headings and things like that. The descriptors must have more dialogue from the SIT included if you want to meet all of those descriptors, and then make sure that they're listed at the top of your artifact. And then there was so much content that it seemed like you didn't reference everything that you needed to, so make sure you go back and reference those things appropriately.
All right, so on 3B, I'm doing 3B. I gave you a 2 for synthesis, course readings, and suggestions. I feel like you were rushed and not confident about the work you had done, Tom, with this artifact. I graded you down because it didn't seem complete. It seemed like you had left me hanging. And I didn't see, and this rubric requires, I didn't see where you worked with others to determine the climate survey. You spoke of the SIT team and implementing the survey, but the narrative and evidence is lacking. So you talked about it, but you didn't give me nothing to go along with it to show me that you did. Quality will improve with the rubric alignment. You can improve your quality when you unpack the rubric fully. You write well, of course. You do a great job in what you do right. Organization, rubric, again. Unpack, look at that rubric and follow it from the beginning, and you'll be fine. Okay, now the alignment with descriptors, the rubric and descriptors. First one, the SIT involvement is discussed marginally. Great job on the community stakeholders piece. References, I didn't see anything, so non-existent.
All right, so on 3C, there's a really good narrative, and that represented the course readings and all of those things well. For the rubric, you reiterated the rubric in your narrative, and that made it very clear to the reader what was going on. I would put you in the proficient category for that. So if you wanted to be in the accomplished category, make sure that you show that the school meets all the needs to accomplish this long-term goal in a little bit more detail. The mechanics and grammar, very formal. I didn't find any errors there. The organization, make sure that you need to look at maybe some other papers to get help with headings. And your headings can also be basically bulleted what the rubric requirements are. The final descriptor, the different media means not only email and voicemail. So maybe you could incorporate, is there an internet site for the school, Twitter account for the school, Facebook, something like that. And then your references were much better, and you gave credit for the things that you referenced, and those were cited appropriately in APA.
3D, Tom. Wasn't quite as smooth as far as the course readings, and missing a lot of rubric and descriptors seems rushed again, you know. Mm-hmm. So on my end, when I read through your stuff, both of the parts that I'm talking to you about, it seems like you were rushed and not fully what your potential is up to. Marketing plan, your rubric requirements, the marketing plan is sufficient, but the involvement with others and working with others is short. Again, it looks like it's just you, and you're not involving everybody else within what you want to do. As always, Tom, the mechanics and grammar, you are top notch. You do well. Organization, get some of your headings like from outlines, and you can outline it where I can follow it a little better. So again, it seems jumbled a little bit. Align with the descriptors. Telling the reader about the involvement of the SIT team will help you meet this at accomplish also the 3C Twitter and regular internet updates, the blog, and so forth. References, add researcher of an article on community and stakeholders. Add something and give me something. Why is it important to involve the stakeholders? So I can, it'll help bring that paper together.
So 3E was the process journal. And there was a great summary that highlighted everything that was in A through D. The rubric requirements I didn't feel like were met. Your narrative is strong, but you've got to include evidence where you worked with others. So maybe SIT team minutes or PLC minutes, something like that. The quality, just add one rubric piece, and then I think the quality will be where it needs to be. As always, mechanics and grammar, we're good to go. Make sure that you check the appendix formatting that you have on there, and especially when you go back to add evidences, make sure that you fix those. And then with the descriptors, everything was very thorough, and I thought that you met all those descriptors. And then for your references, they all look great, and the reference page looked good.